Welcome to part 2 of our discussion about electromagnetic interference. In this episode, we'll discuss how design engineers can mitigate EMI in next-generation automotive applications.
So, Dan, EMI mitigation is becoming more and more critical in the automotive industry. Can you talk about some of the EMI challenges that automotive engineers are facing today?
Sure. Design engineers need to consider shielding solutions in a range of locations throughout the vehicle, moving outward from the chassis level to the individual modules and then down to the printed circuit board. Our rule of thumb is to always shield at the source of the EMI, which usually equates to the lowest cost solution. We understand that this always can't be done based on the stage of the design cycle that we're in. Laird can offer solutions that fit any stage. At the board level, we have surface-mounted shields and grounding contacts. At the module level, we've got dispensed EMI gaskets and RF absorbers. And further out at the chassis level, we offer large fabric over foam and custom EMI metal gaskets, along with ferrite cable cores, which are used on wire harnesses.
When you work with a design engineer who wants to plan ahead, get ahead of the curve, what's some of the advice you'd like to give them at the start?
Well, think about EMI, up front, because you're going to have to face it. So, kind of plan for it, and you may or may not need it. But if you plan for it at the beginning, then if you don't need it, then it can be removed. But if you need it and you haven't planned for it, then you can get in trouble. A lot of times the EMI solution becomes so critical and so integrated into the system, like we've talked about with the thermal and the EMI, that it really becomes just a complete solution. It just becomes part of the design. And so by thinking of that ahead of time, you've made the necessary adjustments so that what you need to have for EMI mitigation is already in place.
Great, thanks. There's a lot more use of ADAS these days, and of course there's increasing projections for autonomous vehicles. How is that changing the way design engineers are approaching EMI mitigation? What problems are being created based on those needs?
With autonomous vehicles, and more specifically in radar sensors, there's more focus on reliability and around radar accuracy. Failure due to quality issues or design flaws is simply not an option. It's very important to have clear signal integrity in the field of view of the radar sensor. Oftentimes, at the outer edges of the radar cone, false targets are generated, which could lead to an unnecessary lane change or braking of the vehicle. Laird designs and produces custom radome solutions, which include injection molded absorbers, and these absorbers clean up the false targets and sharpen the high frequency signal.
We see more and more electronics getting inside the vehicle. In fact, some people joke that cars are basically becoming laptops on wheels. What are some of the big challenges you see for EMI mitigation with all the additional electronics within vehicle? We talked a bit about ADAS and the things on the outside of the vehicle, but what about on the inside?
The same rule of thumb applies here. We're shielding at the module level, we're shielding at the board level, and as each individual system gets noisier, it's important to shield them from each other and have good continuity for the entire vehicle to operate properly. So individually, shielding in each module is very critical for both EMI, radiation, and immunity.
There's been a lot of change recently in the automotive industry, and we know there's more coming. If you look ahead, say over the next 5 years, what are some of the new challenges that we'll be facing related to EMI mitigation in the automotive industry?
We see higher frequencies and clock speeds, and we see a need for smaller aperture sizes to deal with these frequencies. So that drives us towards the use of more RF absorbers. There definitely going to be a need for a higher level of tolerance control and cleanliness as the pitch of the PCB traces get closer together. We found that many Tier 1 suppliers are looking for complete, assembled, multifunction solutions. This includes a structural element like a bracket, combined with heat sinking capabilities, EMI shielding, and thermal interface management. So Laird is positioned to offer all of these solutions to meet these exact needs.
Thank you for tuning in to Insights Engineered. In part 3 of this discussion, we'll explore EMI challenges and solutions in telecom applications. Visit Laird.com and follow Laird Performance Materials on LinkedIn to learn more about our latest products and innovations as we use the best of DuPont's technology to make the world a better place. Thank you.